Hello, Virgo. This is for May 2021, your general reading for the month. We have here basically a combination, right here, a combination of a spiritual biosphere in which all the components for the whole reading, which are archetypal energies, divine influence as an umbrella that radiates the energy of the archetypes, the divine, down into the biosphere, and then the yin and the yang. And in addition to being a spiritual biosphere, it's almost like it can be viewed as an armada of sorts. The entirety of the armada is inside the mothership, and the mothership is the giant triangle, whereas the individual components, a smaller subset of the big picture, the mothership, is in fact the individual layouts here. Okay, we're going to go right into archetypes for Virgo. And please note that there are like connectors here. Here to yin, here to yang, and that is implying that all the energies that radiate are for all the readings. In other words, it's a universal. This is specific to yin, this is specific to yang. Okay, well, I got to tell you, taking a big picture viewpoint on this reading, as I laid out these cards, what came to me very quickly, but then it was reinforced as I went along, was this is about a relationship. This reading for yin and yang is about your relationship. And so I know that won't resonate for everyone, but the cards are the cards, and that's what they're talking about. I mean, please, feel free to listen and see if there is something that you resonate with, because I think there's more to say than just for couples only. But I think the aim here, the major aim by the powers that be that are driving the layout of these cards, are wanting to speak to some of you out there who are in a relationship. Now, that means, in a really simplified way, if you consider each of these as being, this is the prow of the ship. This is the place where you cut through the waves, you ply, you separate the waters ahead so that your vessel may travel through. And what we have at the prow here is the devil, which, followed by the lovers and then the emperor, is saying that the controlling factor for this archetypal influence radiating to yin and yang is one that wants to have you have your eyes wide open, but also with the lens, eyes wide open, and then put on a lens. Then the lens is no BS. That it is a trip you and your partner are taking by choice to the realm of Diablo. And why would you do that? Well, it has a purpose. And that purpose is so that you can burn away, here's the flames, you can come down to the nitty-gritty, the bottom line, the place where you cannot go any lower. You get directly into connection with your shadow self, your deepest, darkest parts, of which are important and needed, but also need to be monitored and used instead of you being used by them, you being used by your shadow side. No, you use your shadow side. And so you've taken this trip together, and the no BS thing applies to anything that you have been dealing with when in relationship that has caused those instantaneous little white lies, the misrepresentations of information as you communicate with one another. And that's going away. And in order to be totally transparent and clear and completely intimate, if you're going for intimacy, of course, that can't be. It has to be a complete, wide open playing field in which there are no hidden things. And your shadow side is probably been the one that whispers the need for hidden things up until now. So in May, Virgo, prime time to take care of business. And then just know you can release yourself from these bindings that you bound yourself to this process together. You take them off and you go away. You go back into the light, but you go back with the knowledge of your shadow side. Followed by the lovers. And of course, that is the playing field. That is where everything that is done internally gets played out and carried out, because it's not easy. You know that. I know that. It's also not something that can take place instantaneously. You can begin instantaneously, but with knowing that the process needs to unfold. And so the eyes wide open component remains. You keep your eyes wide open. Once you have opened them here, you keep them open. And you play out your interactions and you try things out. And, imagine the relief of being able to say, yeah, I know I've been a little bit hesitant and reluctant to be open about that with you, but I'm going to try not to be. Will you try to be open to receive that I am a fallible human being and to love me, la, la, la. You know the drill, and I bless you for taking it upon yourself to do this work. You got a friend here, and it's the Emperor. And the Emperor when I pulled this card, it came to me strongly that the Emperor wants just one thing, and that is to reflect on how comfortable he is in his power. He sits there in other decks like the Rider-Waite, etc., with his one leg crossed over the other, kind of in a relaxed, almost casual pose. And it's trying to tell you that the Emperor is the epitome of power on earth, but is comfortable with that. Is totally in sync and in sympathetic vibration with his role as head honcho, So the only thing I think the Emperor wants to convey in the archetypal energies is be at peace with your power, to be willing to sit back in it and just live it out. That means you're bringing yourself into a moment-to-moment way to live, of course. And I heard, at least, they do say, live in the present moment. That's all we have. Be comfortable with it. Yin, let's go for you. The prow of your smaller ship is the Nine of Cups. So at the forefront is the world is your oyster in terms of choices, and that is that one of the things that have been you've been holding back behind you as a potential escape route instead of a full commitment. Have you been thinking about that you have options if things go to what? Well, do you want to really live like that? Do you want to really live on a place or in a place that is just shy of full on, like your pot on the playing card table, the pot, you can go all in, but have you been hesitating from going all in? Is that why there are choices here? And then maybe this is just your environment in your part of the spiritual biosphere, but in fact, that's a worthy thing to look at. Not that you have to do anything great shakes about it, but certainly to be aware of it is going to serve you and serve you well. And here's the King of Pentacles. So you got a lot of ruler energy, a lot of the upper echelon of the royal court energy that's behind you. And perhaps your partner is an earth sign also. And that could be the king, or it could just be that you want to adopt that kind of a knowledge base in yourself as you play out your day-to-day life so that your life becomes, once again, all in. I'm all in to the pot, which is shared by you and your partner. And followed by the willingness in the moon card to take a look at things. I mean, we were looking at things all the way here. We've been looking at things between you and within you. And here's your role. Your role is to perhaps walk into the closet where you keep the cloak, that when you put the cloak on, you become the moon goddess, the earth mother. And wow, right? I mean, that may be your contribution of regal energy that you bring to this abundant with love relationship. I mean, if the kind of cards that are here are not small potatoes love, it's big potatoes love. And perhaps your role is to walk into your big potato self, if you will, and be the earth goddess, be the epitome of nurturing and all the things that you equate with mother. Yang. And you are the king. So adopting these cloaks, these mantles of your being, I mean, we put on masks anyway. We wear costumes in life. It's Shakespeare said, life is a stage. So we wear costumes. And your costume here, I mean, both of you are being asked to step into your regal bearing mode, that part of you that operates at a very high level. And do your friends do that? Who cares? Do you know what that looks like? Well, it might feel a little uncomfortable only because it's new, but that doesn't mean it's not fair to try it out. And once again, if you're going here and you're then operating in the lover's mode, then that is a highbrow, not hoity-toity highbrow. That is a refined, high vibration manifestation of your love for one another and for self, yourself. So be the king, Yang. How do you do that? Well, you bring inspiration and you bring your fire. There must be some part about you that has a lot of fire. That's who's going to resonate with this reading. The ones that just sit there waiting, kind of chomping at the bit at the gate, who love to go into action and to take it to the playing field. And now let's go. Let's play ball, right? Well, do it. It's nice, but also be confident. Walk in knowing that you can handle it, and by admitting or by just embracing the idea that you're not going to be perfect all at once. You are perfect inside, but playing that out as a being on planet Earth takes the time to do it right, to do it well. And here is a beautiful card to end with. It's an Eight of Cups, and you can see here why on decks like the Rider-Waite, the Eight of Cups is depicted as someone walking to higher ground, leaving the old behind, walking to higher ground. Well, with the Marseilles deck, which is divided in two, the divine, the celestial, and the mundane, the earthly, as above, so below. This is where these cups are straddling the center line here on this card, is typically where the unfolding takes place, or let's say the gestation of new birth. Like before the two get here, there is one. So you grew two. You grew this concept within your soul of knowing what that means, that partnership, which is absolutely aligned with that partnership. Do you see what I mean? And so that straddles the line between heaven and earth. So carry that as if you take that kind of lofty concept of carrying the understanding that you know what it is to create life, i.e., these two cups, to be able to see the I and thou objectively, and you apply that as a king would apply it in the realm. Wow, 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 right? And I'm going to leave you with that. So thank you for being here, Virgo. I wish you the best for May. And until next time, I'll see you next month. Be well. Love you all. Bye for now.